Oh, hey, hey.
Oh,
Were you looking were you reading the eye of the world, my friend?
I was. Your cover's, I don't know, it's way better than mine.
It's way better than yours. All right,
What do you think?
How you doing, my friend? How you doing?
Man, I am on edge once again.
Get used to it.
We have what, 1,000 Trollocs, fades.
Yes.
We got the California fires. We got COVID.
Yeah. So everyone, Todd and I live in California.
Yes.
It has been. If you remember in an early episode, we talked about a dream Rand had. At some points, the daytime sky resembled the sky in the Rand's dream, just a bright orange, smoky. The sun
impossible.
Yes,
an impossible sky.
I watered my lawn, and it just stayed wet for days and days and days straight.
Yeah.
I need to check in with the chat real quick. I'm looking at the feed, and my feed is flickering on my phone. Is it flickering for you? Please let me know if it's flickering. I've never seen that before. But we're moving on. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah, chapter 19.
Well, here we are.
Yeah. So this is again our first time reader segment. Todd is graciously joining us to give us his insights, his thoughts, his perspectives on what he's experiencing as he reads this story for the first time. Todd has been doing a great job. He's studiously taking notes, and he's making sure that he's not reading ahead, which everyone who has read this book or is reading this book currently knows how hard that is. I remember when I first read this book, it was my first experience of ever having stayed up way past time I should have because I needed to get to the next chapter. Seriously. And totally. I had many nights of staying up super late and going to work, just groggy as all hell, and having just no business being at work, working with tools. I was at that time, several times I'd be, when would I be groggy as hell? Well, I'd be washing your dog. I might be handling your dog and not having slept a wink because of this book series. Or
thanks a lot, Robert Jordan. Yeah.
One time I was working in a gas station and I almost put oil in the wrong part of the engine. The actual mechanic ran out like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, what? And it turned out I was putting oil. I was just a hair away from putting oil in just the wrong part of an engine, which would have just killed it. And I think that I'm blaming Robert Jordan. Posthumously, right now I'm blaming. I don't remember if it was Robert Jordan, but it's probably Robert Jordan.
Yes, thanks a lot, Robert Jordan. You write wonderful books that envelop you just so much. It's amazing.
Well, but also thank you for actually having the gumption to stop when we need you to stay true for the audience, because the audience needs you to not know what the heck you're talking about.
I know. They feed on that. They feed on my just inability to grasp what's happening.
Marty Beck, hello, buddy. Dana Lou, hello, Dana Lou. We're here to show you how we don't know what we're talking about. All right. Everyone at home, I hope you've read these chapters. This is chapters 19, 20, and 21. So much amazing things happen.
So intense. Yeah.
What was it like for you, Todd? Take us through it. So chapter 19 opens up. We're heading into Shadar Logoth, and it is the ruined city.
Yeah, Rand says the city was broken.
Broken. Yeah, that's a great word for it.
And the city is vast. The scale of it sounds tremendous. Like I guess it's like way bigger than Baileron. Dwarfs the Edmonds Fields and the Two Rivers.
Yeah, I believe at one point they talk about being in an open area that could fit all of Edmondsfield together, and it just seemed to be like just a everyday occurrence in this place.
Yeah, like that part. Yeah, they climb into like a fountain or something like that, and it's the basin is wide enough. Yeah. The basin is wide enough to hold every body in Edmondsfield. It's like, what? That blew me away, man. Just the scale of this ruined city. It's like,
and it's funny how you said that, every body. It's like I just picture them all just kind of stacked up in there.
Yeah, Rand, he thinks like that, you know. He's like, yeah, everybody. Then it made me think or question how many people are in Edmondsfield and the Two Rivers. I'm sure one of our
actually yes, please. One of our viewers. How many Edmondsfielders are there? When you're driving in Edmondsfield and you see the green sign that says Edmondsfield population, what is it? Okay, so when you're on your horse and you're going into Edmondsfield, what is the number on the sign?
You're like, do I want to stop in the city? Is this city relevant? Yeah. Someone's got it.
Well, what's your guess?
Yeah, I was thinking about it. What is it? It's like maybe 500. I don't know.
Yeah.
450.
Like, yeah, I mean, that's like a high school. I mean, that's like a small high school. Is 500 people.
So these, this city's it's enormous. They're climbing into fountains, and they're blown away by the architecture, I guess, or Rand is, and it's just huge and stunning. The scale of it. Yeah.
So we're just basically getting in. Land finds an area and says, "Right, this will do." They jump in, and it is a room that is several times the size of the last room they were in.
Yeah. And they find a place. Land sets up things. I guess there's like a lot of tension between Lan and Nenaive happening, you know, alongside the tension that's already happening with Nenaive and Moraine.
What makes you think there's a tension? What about it?
Lan's because Nenaive keeps wanting to help or like show that she's got like skills, wants to show off to Moraine, I think. It seems, and they're kind of like at a wisdom Aes Sedai battle, like who's better? I don't know. But Lan says, "Have a care with your herbs," because she keeps like offering her all these herbs to Moraine, because she's like totally drained from the prior fight of protecting them from the Trollocs and stuff like that, before they go into shadows or into Shadar Logoth.
Yeah. What'd you make of that?
Just the tension.
Yeah. Well, Lan directly saying like, "Care with your herbs," like.
Yeah, he's worried. He's like, yo, back off. Like, she could handle herself. I think that's how I take it. Or he's just concerned about her.
It's really interesting that Moraine takes the herbs.
Oh, right.
If you take everything we know from the 3 chapters we've read, right, and we know Moraine's perspective, Nynaeve's perspective about Moraine, her feelings about Moraine, right? What is it? do you think it's interesting, like the idea that Moraine is like just taking herbs from this woman?
Just random herbs.
Right?
I think she's giving her like she's like, okay, I'll take those herbs. Like, okay, wisdom, I'll see what you got. Or she kind of like, she's like, okay, she's right about these herbs. It'll help me like reinvigorate my strength and stuff like that. So she's giving her like a nod, I guess. Tip of the hat.
Now, if she would have tried to have negatively affected Moraine with her herbs, do you think her herbs could do that?
Ooh, I didn't think about that, because there's still like a lot of mistrust between the two. Like Nenaive doesn't like her and doesn't like her that she's taking the boys and Egwin. I didn't think about that. Wow. So maybe that's what Lan's talking about. He's kind of like, maybe I should test those herbs.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I almost would have thought, yeah. Yeah, we got one. That's one valid perspective, of course. Very valid perspective. I got to get my voice closer to the mic there. Sorry, such a difference when I move my head. Okay, so yes, no, yeah, you'd almost imagine that Lan would have been like, yeah, let me drink that first, like take the kind of like act as that kind of buffer, because I'm imagining you could kind of fucking fuck up, someone real hard with a concoction if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, wisdom. They could do that to an Aes Sedai, I guess. I don't know.
So you think that like the herbs could actually hurt her somehow?
Possibly, I guess. I didn't even think about that. Because I guess, Aes Sedai do have weaknesses, right? I guess.
I don't know. Tell me about them.
Oh yeah, that's right. They are like limited.
What do you see are the weaknesses?
Seems like they're limited to a point. I guess she brings it up to that, she can only do so much. And not like, and even like all the Aes Sedai, she sometimes says like can't even handle like that many fades or something like that. Or I don't know.
Oh yeah. No, you're right. No, I mean, no, they are limited. They're limited. I just didn't. Yeah, I was just wanting to see if if there's something that you perceive that made them vulnerable to herbs. Anyway, so Glenn's like, take care of that, blah, 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 blah. And then we have the classic. Here we go, Matt. God darn it. Right. Matt again. Tom has to go smoke. Tom's got a real bad problem. He's just like, oh man, I got to calm my nerves. He, leaves and lets the boys, Trolloc off. Did I say Trolloc off? I did.
Oh, yeah.
Trollop off. Gallop. Gamble. Yeah, they're gambling off. They're like, and they're gambling off into the broken city.
The ruins. Yes. And of course, Matt gets them into it. Yeah. And Matt, actually, before we go into that, Matt's like a little taken aback by when he was chanting his war chant, remember?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
This was kind of a cool part between Matt and Tom. I wanted to bring this up. It was kind of cool. Matt's like, as if when he did the war chant, he says, as if some dead man was speaking with my mouth, which was kind of cool. But Tom responds, the blood, not a dead man, your roots, boy. A line running from you to your father to your grandfather, right on back to Manetheren and maybe beyond. It's like, what?
Yeah, and then to try and comfort, that's him trying to comfort him. He's like, hey, you're not simply a normal peon like everyone else. You know your roots. No one else does. Calm down, kid.
Calm down, kid.
Come down,
It goes
kid. Boy.
beyond.
Come down, boy.
Boy. Yeah, dude. I really like that part. That was cool. But yeah, so then they go exploring. I guess we could get into that.
Yeah, so there's mention of Matt wanting to see everything. It seems like Matt wanted to see everything, and they were caught up in his exhilaration or exuberance. So jumping over boulders, they're going this way, going that way, and then they stop and they start trying to have a reasonable conversation about what the heck to do. Rand's feeling super tired. And then Matt's no, let's go climb this freaking tower.
Come on.
Which is like, what is he? He's Bran from Game of Thrones. He just wants to climb the tower.
Yeah.
Like, do you think he'd be on the outside scaling it like Bran did? Like, or is he like, anyways?
Totally. Yeah. This guy, he just gets into it, man.
Just like, is there a second between thought and then action for this kid?
He's all action, just a live wire, man. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's an adventurer, thrill seeker. He definitely doesn't do the careful way, or what do they talk about? He's not careful at all. Because he's always like the one like spilling the beans. He almost always spills the beans about like them.
Yes.
Pursued by Trollocs, and like they're always stopped. They're like, da.
Go. All right. Yeah.
Well,
we got
it's really cool.
Mandar from the Discord saying awesome. Matt is a live wire. Yes, indeed, he is absolutely a live wire. And it seems to be getting worse. This condition he has.
He's going downhill, man. It's just,
I mean, literally think about what just happened. Just think about what just happened. The chapters before, they are barely make it out of there alive. Maureen has to completely rip to shreds God's green earth, which is so environmentally unfriendly. She these poor things just boom, wall of fire, earthquake, all of this. They Harry carry all the way to this place, and Matt is just insatiable. He can't stop for one. Is this the worst case of ADD?
Possibly,
or is this something else?
Dun dun dun.
What do you think?
Well, I go back to Min when Min lays down like all what she sees with everybody, and I get his is a broken crown. Was it broken crown? But a measuring scale. There's a scale or something, right?
Oh, you'd be better at that than me.
I don't know what it is, man. But, what's interesting, though, going back to Rand.
Yes.
He's talking about, he's looking around the city and he says, he thinks back to his dreams that he's had. And I guess that it's about the first dream. And he says, it's nothing like the city in his first dream, but just the same. It's like, what? So that threw me through a loop. I read that. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
And then that brought me back to and this is when Rand starts tripping out. He's like getting like tired, I think, like what you're saying.
Yeah.
And he starts feeling the shadows. He says, they could almost imagine he could see the people in the shadows staring in disapproval at the three intruders, disturbing their rest. It's like, oh my gosh, dude. So Rand is just picking up. He sees things. He picks up on things. He's very observant. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
He is. I got a question in from the chat before we get further in.
Yeah.
This is from Malkier Talks, which is an amazing YouTube and podcast. He says, "What's your initial reaction to this city and the trepidations the others feel about it?"
Basically, what we said in the beginning. Just to come upon a broken city that's broken and in ruins, and just the name of it, Shadar Logoth. There's something ominous waiting at this point. And initially, I was just feeling that something is just below it. There's something that they're gonna run into, and that's the way I felt initially. And I think the others are feeling that too.
Yeah, nothing as good is going to come out of this place.
Yeah.
All right, so he also asks, do you think the boy sneaking off is going to end well? Do you have any predictions? So he's basically saying, do you have any predictions about, we're all the way through 21, but do you have any predictions about what might be come of the whatever happened when they were sneaking around?
Definitely. I mean, we're about to go into that. I knew, I had a feeling they were going to just unearth or just get into something that wasn't good.
Yeah. So we're back to they're gambling around, gamble, and everyone, that's GAMBOL. Look it up. So they're gambling around, and then they hear a voice. Those,
Yes.
You help me do it, Todd.
He's like, don't climb on those towers or some shit. I don't have that quote.
What are you, stupid kids? Get off those towers. You're gonna climb that stupid tower. Look at that thing. It's gonna fall on you. What? I have to come out from my who knows how long slumber to tell you, stupid kids, to not climb on that damn tower? Huh?
Yeah, man. This guy, just appears out of nowhere. It's freaky. And they're taken aback. They're like, wait, what?
Yeah, and so he basically admits, okay, well, let me tell you, my name is Mordeth. I've been here a long time. I've been down there, and it's hard for my eyes to adjust. But what are you doing here? No one's been here for a very, very, very long time. He is just letting it go.
Yeah.
He's just talking and talking and talking. He could have just, several. Anyway, so yeah, so he's chatty catty. He's giving us a little info dump. We meet Mordeth.
He's like, by the way, I need some help with something. Why don't you come with me and I'll show you? Dark corridor down these steps where you can't see anything.
I love how Rand and Perrin have a look at each other, and they have that moment where Perrin's like, "No, we can't leave him."
Yeah.
So you can tell, non-verbally, Rand's like, "All right, let's fuck this guy. We're out of here.
We're out of here."
But
but they know Matt's like, "Let's go." Sure.
Yep. So they basically, Matt takes his hand. They go hand in hand. They go down, right? Which is, not only kind of classically scary, but in Jungian kind of analysis, any dream that kind of goes down, we're talking deeper layers of your unconscious self. So so there's ways of, so they're going down and it's getting dark and they think, oh my gosh, are we going to ever see light? And then all of a sudden there's light. And then we see treasure.
Gold.
Mm-hmm.
Jewels. Diamond-studded daggers. Yeah. He's like, help me out with this, boys. You can take whatever you want, whatever you could carry, I guess.
Do you think that? Okay, so I imagine Matt's first impulse would have been to just dive into the gold and swim around and do the classic whatever. I'm rich. I got a pile of gold. But then Matt doesn't. And I think maybe we should give him credit.
He does, yeah. He doesn't follow his impulses to dive in. Right.
But yeah, so then all of a sudden, they bring up how they're going to Tarvalon. This pisses him off.
Oh, yeah.
And then he starts to grow.
But what's really cool, though, is Rand, right before that, he notices, he looks around, I guess, at the there's like torches everywhere putting off light. And he's like, wait a minute, you don't have a shadow. And that's like when it happens, right?
Yep. Art Anastasio, no shadow. Yes. In fact, Malkier is asking on Discord, what do you think of all that? Yeah, we got a guy with no shadow. Also,
yeah,
how cool is it that Rand again notices that?
I love it. He's so observant and he just takes in everything. Which I was going to bring up something later about that, but we don't have to go. We should go.
Let me tell you. So, everything that Rand does, all these little nuances, always brings me back to Winter Night, and always brings me back to Tam checking around the house and how thorough he was, and then he even checked into the well, and he was just like, I think he looked into, the sphincters of all the cows to make sure nothing was hiding in there. I think he did a lot, the most thorough check you could possibly do. And I think that kind of is what we see. I always think of that whenever Rand is the one to kind of notice. And that's kind of the one of, you've mentioned this a lot, like Rand notices. It's one of his superpowers, on what you said. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just very observant. Just takes everything in, and there's a lot to him, man. He's the guy.
That was one of your official predictions, that there's more to Rand than meets the eye, the Rand former. Dude, and I think we're seeing that, huh? I think that prediction is probably completely. There's more to Rand than meets the eye. Probably one of the more easy predictions to get, but yes.
No, it was low-hanging fruit.
At this point, all the main characters, you might even look at them and say the same thing about all of them. There's more to you. There's more to you. There's more to you. We may never know about you, but I think there's something more about you.
So much to come. So let's go into Mordith.
Please. Well, he's going to go into you.
I know. Should I read the quote?
Please. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And in your most dramatic voice, please.
Okay. Like a balloon, Mordith swelled, distorted, head pressed against the ceiling, shoulders butting the walls, filling the end of the room, cutting off escape, hollow-cheeked, teeth bared in a rictus snarl, reached out with hands big enough to engulf a man's head. Crazy.
Okay, now rictus. He's okay. That's a fun word.
It is.
Rictus. Hey, thumbs up if you like the word rictus. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you guys give the video a thumbs up. This is the kind of high quality content we're bringing to you weekly. Normally we're doing this on Thursdays. This is a reschedule. Art Anastasio, it is nice to have your joining our little group here. It is growing.
Talking about rictus. You learned all about rictus.
Yeah, and yeah. So yeah, he is the transformer. Yeah, no, we actually called him the Rand former. The Rand farmer, more than meets the eye. Rand farmer. Yes. So, Mordeth, he grows, he gets all crazy. He starts flying towards them. What happens?
So this is, I still don't know what's going on. Like, so he lets out like an agonized scream, and then he's clutching his knees to his chest. stretched out and yeah, like something happened. Like he went for it, he lunges for him, and then like something happens, and then he stretches out and thins out like a tendril of smoke and vanishes into a crack in the wall tiles, screaming, "You're all dead!"
Yeah, for reals.
For
But
real. Like,
I mean, so can you find the passage? I would love for you to read the passage when he actually starts charging at him, because
yeah, there is something there, huh?
what? Yeah, what is there?
Like a tendril of smoke. Yeah, he lunges at him. Like, what the hell? Shadows waiting.
All right, while he's looking that up, I'm going to say to everybody that, again, this is our first time reader chat. We live in California. If we have vocal fry, it's just because that's the air quality we live in. It's not because we have any extracurricular activities that affect our vocal cords. Yes, you're right. Citrus, rictus. You are right. Rictus. He uses that word quite a bit. I don't know if it appears in other books, but definitely likes it in book one. I think it's a great word.
Fill the room. Okay. Yeah, I got it right here. Let's see. Wait, yeah. There we go. Something moved in the deepest part of the shadows left by the torches, and they all jumped. It was Mordith, clutching his knees to his chest and huddled as deep into the furthest corner as he could get. Oh, wait.
So no, here it is. Here it is. I got it. Okay. I could read too. With a yell, Rand leaped back. His feet tangled in a gold chain, and he crashed to the floor. The wind knocked out of him. Struggling for breath, he struggled at the same time for his sword, fighting his cloak, which had become wrapped around the hilt. The yells of his friends filled the room, and the clash of gold plates and goblets clattering across the floor. Suddenly, an agonizing scream shivered in Rand's ears.
Mm-hmm.
Almost sobbing, he managed to inhale at last, just as he got the sword out of his sheath, got to his feet. Yeah, so what happened?
I have no idea. Like, at first I thought, like, maybe Moraine, like, sensed it and, like, did something. Or I have no idea. It's weird. It's like he lunged at him, but then was drawn back by something, like some power around him. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either. I love speculating, though.
Yeah.
What would be your guess, though? Do you think that it's like, I mean, right here, Matt says it's some kind of trick.
Oh, right.
So the next thing it says, he tricked us, Matt panted. It was some kind of trick.
Ooh, I didn't think about that. So he just wanted to, like, freak him out. Oh, I think it comes out later. Okay. So it was, like, totally on purpose.
Awesome.
Because yeah. I didn't think about that. That's really good. Wow.
All right, so Mordith runs, and they start hauling ass back to camp, and they feel like they are being watched the whole time. They call them the Watchers, and that's all creepy as hell. And then they get back to camp, and they can't hide it. They have to spill. Moraine says, "What happened? Why are you guys in a hurry?" They spill the beans, but they spill it all haphazardly. I think that's cute.
Oh yeah, they're all talking at once.
Yeah, but like every part is just like so, oh yeah, and then that happened, but then they go back and forth and back and forth. I'm just imagining Moraine just like very patiently, like listening, putting it all together. But yeah, so they tell the story. She basically threatens him with Lan again, land the pit bull. You'll be lucky when Dad Lan gets back if he doesn't, turn your hide.
Oh yeah. And then Eve calls them, "You wool-headed witlings."
That's a great one.
That's a good one. But so Moraine's really concerned. This is what I was about to go into when you mentioned that Mordeth did this on purpose, or that.
Yeah, go on.
Because Moraine's like really concerned about. She's asking, "Did he touch you? Did he give you anything, or did you have anything for him, or did you do anything for him?" Oh yeah. So that was really interesting, and I think Matt doesn't like take one of the diamond studded daggers or something like that from the treasures. Remember.
At what point he was holding something?
I can't remember. Maybe I should go back on that. But anyways, yeah. So she's really
a ruby. There's a ruby dagger. A dagger with a ruby on it. Use what you're referencing, and he was holding it in the treasure room.
And that's from the treasure, right?
Yeah, but we don't know. That's all. That's the last I think we see it is that he was holding it in the treasure room.
Okay. So yeah, Moraine's like super concerned about that, and then they go into this huge. Moraine lays down a lot of stuff right here.
Oh yeah, info dump. Everyone, sit down, cross your feet, get ready for a good, healthy info dump. Let's hear the history of. Although she does kind of short, she's like, you know what, this is it. This story is even more grim than Lan. So, but yeah, go on. What do we learn in this fun expository passage?
So much. Okay, so Moraine explains why the Trollocs and Fades won't enter the city. So she goes into that and tells the story that I guess there was a time during the Trolloc Wars, where 100 Trollocs and Dark Friends and Murdrolls and Dreadlords vanished that were sitting there, that were staying there, I guess. But then she goes even further, explaining what Shadar Logoth was before Eredal, and then she says what Shadar Logoth stands for, which is
remind me
the title of the chapter. Shadows Waiting. That's what Shadar Logoth means.
Shadows Waiting. Yeah.
And so before it was called that, it was called Eredal. And it's one of the 10 nations during the Trolloc Wars, I guess. And Balwin Maywell was king of Eredal. And this is really interesting. So Mordeth comes out. This is where we learn about Mordeth's history.
Yeah, this guy. He's so appropriately named Mordeth.
I know. Yeah, dropping hint there. It's like, whoa. So he's like some what is he? Like I don't know. How would you describe what is Mordeth? He's like ear to the king. He becomes like the king's right-hand man. He's like the Secretary of State or something, and like
but then he becomes kind of a zealot for the light.
Yeah,
and they become so impassioned with their fight for the light that they become like acting like the dark, and they become corrupted.
Right.
and then
it.
some sort of magic happens, and then the city.
I really like though what they say, how Mordeth seduces King Baldwin, and really good stuff, man. Yeah, he whispered poison in Baldwin's ear, leading to the city's downfall, and that made me think. That's an homage, actually, to Lord of the Rings.
Oh, tell me. I'm not familiar. Tell me.
Yeah, so there's a character called Wormtongue.
Okay, I know the name.
And he.
Oh, how funny! There we go. Mandar in the chat, like Wormtongue.
Totally. So it's like a total homage, I think. He did the same thing. This guy Wormtongue seduces the king of Gondor, I think, and he makes him. He puts him in a spell and takes over the city, basically, and the city falls into like chaos, and like closer to their dark power that's in the Middle Earth. Which is,
although I'm not a fan of people forced to be the sexuality they're not. I'm really happy that they were exploring those concepts in that book.
Right. Yeah, Tolkien, man. He's miles ahead. So progressive. But, there's also another homage.
I guess the joke is what I'm saying is like he's seducing the king. Wah, wah, wah. That's a joke.
Totally.
Okay, you got it. All right.
Funny.
What am I doing? I'm sorry. Move on. All right. Go on.
Yeah, nice work, Todd.
Back.
All right. So we'll go. Okay, let's talk about. Oh yeah. Dude, and we go further into the history of Eredol. I guess so. The kingdom is taken over by Mordeth and his darkness, but I guess Manatherin sends somebody to like save Eredol. Let's see. Yeah, the son of Thorin Al Torrenson sends his son Kar, I think that's how you pronounce it, to
I love it. Just keep going.
to save the city. But he gets like seduced and gets thrown in the dungeon. He escapes. But that like goes on to some other story. I don't even know. There's so much information dumped, like you were saying.
Yeah. And then we hear.
Oh wait.
Well, fun.
Oh yeah. So after Mordeth takes control of the city, the armies come to avenge Kar because he gets in the dungeon, then he escapes and he goes off to some other story. And Manatherin sends armies to avenge Kar. And then they find Eredol in ruins, and they find something worse than death locked in the bedrock of the city. Mashadar.
Yep. Mashadar. Does that remind you of anything else you've read before, or any parallels?
I didn't get one from that. Just from the Mordeth.
Mm-hmm.
But Mashadar, that concept is freaky, man. Because it seems like it's like the evilest of evil, and it even doesn't. It's like blind, and it just kills anything, even Trollocs and Murdrolls.
Yeah. What did she say? Not all the sisters in the tower could kill this thing.
Right. Yeah. Not all the Aes Sedai and the White Towers could kill it. Yeah. Totally freaky. It's like what?
Well,
There's underneath the evil? Like,
What? Yeah. So I mean, what is this? As you hear this, or as you're reading this, and as you're kind of puzzling together this world, like, what does that say about this world? That this thing can exist.
That there's no, yeah, that evil just finds ways to manifest itself. That's blind to everything. I don't know.
Do you think? Do you think that there could be like some sort of like weird positive essence out there that's kind of like the yin to that yang, that's like a coalescing positive force, or is this strictly something the dark one or negative things can happen? Like, what do you think?
I hope so. I hope there's like a counter to that because that's like freaky, man. Just a blind evil that just kills to kill, and oh man, that's freaky. I hope they have the other side, but they could even use it actually though. What I was thinking about, or which could be very dangerous. They could actually use like Mashadar because it kills blindly. It could be like a weapon, but it's a very dangerous weapon.
Like if you somehow just set up a bunch of fans, like just kind of like set up 10 really strong fans and like kind of got the army like to chase you around the corner. All of a sudden it's like, turn on the fans. It's like, smash it, our blast.
Mashadar. Yep. Like bring in the Mashadar.
Yeah, I mean they at one point Maureen even says later on, like, we could only hope that the Trollocs got and the Fades went back to and we're taken by Mashadar, but she didn't think that was really the case. Yeah. So it's an indiscriminate killing fog, basically. Yeah.
Freaky.
All right. So yeah, let's look. This question came in through Discord. So Maureen's revealing all sorts of things about the history of this city, and then she talks about the protection that she requiring, like the wards that she's set and everything. What does it say about the seriousness of the plight that our friends are in?
Oh man, it's heavy. They're just surrounded by all sorts of evil. And that's what puts me on edge, man. It's really like enveloped me in the story now. Just what they have everybody against them.
Yeah.
Believes anybody is just coming after them.
Now, if as a plot device, it effectively creates that the tree. Like now, if you were to create a map and follow our characters along the map, they're all basically together. Now they are, so much happens, and it's fitting. It takes something that powerful, that crazy and evil to be the thing that splits them up, but it definitely splits them up. And I love that time when they're just like talking over it. Moraine is just calmly assessing the situation as this deadly fog is just kind of like meandering about. That was really cool.
All right, so this is when they're leaving. Oh wait, one thing to bring up, which is freaky about Mordeth.
Mm-hmm.
And Moraine kind of like lays this down. She says if Mordeth convinces someone to the walls, I guess to the end of the walls, like to come into the wall with them, it consumes the soul of that person, and he's able to leave wearing that body and able to wreak his evil on the world. Damn it.
Uh-huh.
That freaked me out. I was just like, great. And that made me think about like Matt, because he has that like dagger, ruby dagger, I think, from the treasure.
Uh-huh. So you think Matt has the dagger on him, and you think okay, and you think that might be related to that revelation? Awesome.
Yeah, like that freak. When I heard that, I was like, oh man, or it's somehow it's gonna like tie him to Matt or something. I don't know, dude.
All right, that's a prediction. So you think the ruby dagger ties more death to Matt in that way. Awesome.
In that way, yeah. So,
all right, so here we go. Can we get a prediction from Todd? What do you think the long-term impacts will be from Rand, Matt, and Perrin's antics?
well, for Matt, I just explained such a appropriate question. But for Rand,
nothing against by Marty.
But for Rand and Perrin, yeah, I think it freaked him out, man. It really like put the fear in him, especially Perrin. But I don't know. Yeah, we could go on though.
Okay.
There's something about yeah. So Lan is like, so they get back and Moiraine's telling them all this stuff, and then Lan comes back with information that Trollocs are in the walls of the city.
Yep. We got a question from Discord saying, why do you think, like, what's driving the Myrddraals to drive the Trollocs into the city?
Yeah, that's a great question. And that's what Lan...
Todd. I love our friendship.
Go on.
Dude, that segues perfectly actually into, because like Lan and Moiraine are, I guess they're talking about that. Like Lan, I think, is like, what's driving the Myrddraals into the city? Because they have the power to, like, they could be like, no way, I'm not going into that city, because they know what it is. But something's driving them. And I guess, yeah, the Dark One. It's just like, no way, Myrddraal, no way, Fade. You're going in, dude.
No way, Fade. No way, Fade. Hashtag no way, Fade.
You're going in.
No.
Get your little Trollocs and go in the gates. Oh, man. Yeah.
All right. So and then we see how they just like calmly are like, oh yeah, we're used to this. Let's just get ready. No one's panicking, and moving forward.
Oh yeah. So yeah, she can't use the one power in the city because it'll destroy the wards protecting them.
Mm-hmm.
Plan B is to create a ward protecting from Trollocs. Oh yeah, they're gonna So Moiraine's like, we got to get to the river and have our backs to the river.
Mm-hmm.
And a ward that will like protect us from the Trollocs and the Fades. Because I guess Trollocs and Fades load.
All right. I'll just edit that out for the podcast. Go on.
So we learned that, they got to get their backs to the river. She'll create a ward, and Fades and Trollocs load deep water. Oh, Fades only go in waist deep.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They don't like to get their belly buttons wet.
Nope. Can't have that. And that's kind of chapter 19, I think.
Yes. Chapter 19. All right. So this might be a good time to take a break, and then we need to strategize, Todd, how to get through 2 chapters in the next 45 minutes or so. But yeah, we're going to take a music break. I have a project called Ogres Are Like Onions. It's a project I am in with my friend Keith. So I'll play a couple songs from that. Todd and I will stretch our legs, and we'll move on to chapters 20 and 21. So grateful you guys are here. Say it again, Todd.
21's really short, so I think we'll be able to.
All right, I'm sharing audio. Here it comes. This is Animalcules by Ogres Are Like Onions.
Now let's see. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Look at that tie in your mouth.
All right. Hello, 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 hello.
Oh, there you are. I didn't hear you at first.
Yeah, I was muted. It's a metaphor. Hey, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. We're going to move on to chapter 20. But before, real quick, I want to ask you, what is your overall kind of general impression of that chapter? Like, what do you think of it? Did you like it? Did you think it was one of the better chapters? Do you think, are you enjoying this city we're in?
I thought it was an awesome chapter. Like you said, just an info dump, and you just learn about the history of Shadar Logoth, and it's just way cool.
Yeah.
And you learn about Mashadar.
So you're not turned off by some sort of magical evil fog.
Yeah,
that doesn't turn you off. You're not that's too whatever. No, you're into it. You're like, bring it on.
Yeah, an unseen,
more the merrier.
Moving. Yeah. No, I love it. Yeah, Robert Jordan, world building at its finest. So, chapter 20.
Chapter 20. Dust on the wind.
Dust on the wind.
Start taking us through it, Todd.
So, Moraine and Lan are like, we got to get out of here under nightfall. We can't wait. The Trollocs are in the city. Okay, wait. Yeah, let's go back to that, though. There's how many Trollocs? There's a lot. There's a lot of Trollocs, a lot of fades. So they got to get out of there.
They got to get out of fades. He did come in and have an exact number, but yeah, we're being chased by Trollocs and fades. We got to get out.
We got to get to the river. Follow the red star if you get lost.
Yeah, so they get separated by the evil fog.
Yeah,
like the dark one just let out a huge fart. It's been floating around Shadow Logoth. It's got a name, and that separates everyone. They have to get out of there in their own kind of way, and we have this amazing scene where Rand goes, "Follow me," but then he hears everyone else say, "Follow me," and they all just bolt.
I can't wait for that scene.
Oh yeah, the too many chiefs, not enough Indians like scene.
It's gonna be great. Just everybody goes in opposite directions. Like Land's like, oh crap. I mean, Rand's like, crap. Oh. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. So there's thin tendrils of silver gray fog all over the city. Let's see what else. Oh yeah. So they empty windows are being filled with this glow. And then he sees I guess he sees some Trollocs and Fade get taken out by the Mashadar, which is pretty crazy.
Oh, you hear something? Yeah, like that you hear the Fade die and it makes that sound, right?
Yeah, but then but what's really crazy, he sees a Trolloc get like eaten by one. He says, bathing them in gray light, muzzled heads went back to scream, but fog rolled over open mouths and in eating the howls. Yeah, just like, so the imagery is like really spooky.
It really is.
And
there's so many factors, right? They got to get out. They got to avoid that. They got to avoid this. They got to, it's like,
dude, everything's stacked against them. It's crazy.
Oh, peril. This is just total peril.
Peril, dude. Trollocs have catch poles, I guess.
Okay, I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think that these kids would be dead if they weren't using catch poles?
I think probably. Yeah, they definitely want to capture him and bring him back to Balamazan. Balamazan wants to talk to each one of these.
Balmazan?
Balamazan.
Balmazan? The Ramalama Ding Dong?
I know.
How do you say
it?
No,
How do you say
no,
it?
I don't care. I just want to make fun of it. It's just part of the whole experience. Everyone just makes fun of how you say the names. It's great.
I know.
But I don't want to change your headcanon. It's like, go for it. If it's Balamazan, say it again.
Balamazan.
Balamazan. Okay, yeah. Balamazan.
Balamazan.
Okay.
I think that's right. I think that's right.
Balamazan. Okay, go on. All right, so yeah, so everyone's in peril and everyone's running.
Yeah. Catch pole.
Split up. One of the first times this is really happening.
Oh yeah, the crew, the Edmund Fielders are they're split, man.
Yeah, in a big way.
I guess he runs into Matt. And Matt's like, he's like feeling his throat. And this is like the second time Matt's, I think, he's been ensnared in one of these catch poles already. Have you noticed that? This happened outside of Shadow Logoth.
Do you think
like Matt was like, man.
What do you make of that?
I think he's like been caught and he's like gotten out or something, or like gotten out of a catch pole a couple of times, which like it kind of worries me. He might just be getting caught too easy, but he gets out of it though. I don't know. It's weird.
Okay, yeah. But so he's decidedly clutching his throat, like, and you notice that's the second time he's had like basically a catch pole around his neck.
I believe so. Yeah.
Good notice.
And so they're exiting the city, but then Tom gallops out from behind them and ride, you fools.
I love
chased by Alex. Which
actually,
is
real quick before you get there, did you it seems like this isn't the first time that Rand has just happened to run into Matt, huh?
Oh, it's true. Yeah.
Right?
They ran into each other. Oh, yeah. They ran into each other in Balamon. Or
And
Baileron. That's right. They run into each other in the city. Yeah.
I think. Yeah, go on.
Well, this brings me to the point I wanted to bring up. As they're exiting the gate, before they see Tom, Rand says this thing. This is a phrase that Rand said maybe at this point. This is the third time he said it. And he says he looks every way at once, which is very cool. I think it just it goes right to his observant, the way he observes, but he's brought this term up before. Look every way at once.
Yep.
And it makes me think of something.
What?
It makes me think of the title of the book.
Oh, The Eye of the World.
The Eye of the World.
Okay.
And I don't know. It's really cool. Like,
speculate wildly. Go for it. Go crazy. What do you think?
I think there's something to it. Maybe he's like, I know they've talked about the Eye of the World as being like this thing that people hunt for, like the Great Horn and stuff like that. And, I don't know. There's something to it, I think, that maybe he's like attached or like he has the perspective of the Eye of the World. There's something like Robert Jordan's he's dropping some hints, basically, I think.
Yeah. No, and you're picking it up. Picking it up.
I love it. Just like little bits, little puzzle pieces here and there. And I just love that about Rand. He looks every way at once. That's how I like picture him now. I think about him, you know, he's trying to take in all perspectives, all things happening around him to make like the right choice.
Yeah, and he processes things really fast. cheers to what? Cheers to super perspective, Rand.
Rand. He possesses the eye of the world, or he's like connected to it. Yeah. Fantastic.
Thank you. Could you hear it in my voice? I was really parched. Ruby red grapefruit juice. It's
the best.
Not a metaphor. Go on. What? Go on.
Okay, so Tom gallops from behind them. Ride, you fools! Being traced by Trollocs.
Yeah.
Which is
say that 3 times fast. Being chased by Trollocs. Being chased by. Yeah. So that was an amazing scene, and they're charging. They get into like the forest, right?
Totally. Yeah, they're jamming through the trees. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Brush. But what's really cool, that's another homage to Lord of the Rings, I think, by the way, with Tom saying, "Ride, you fools."
Oh, go on.
I don't know if you've watched. Okay. In Lord of the Rings, there's a part where the Fellowship is in the mines of Moria, and Gandalf battles a Balrog, which is awoken in the deep.
Yeah.
And it comes after them, and he has to face it head on. And he tells the rest of them, he says, "Fly, you fools." And he like turns around to face the Balrog, which is a huge scene in the movie. It's in the first one.
Someone had said something earlier. Is that when, does he say, "You shall not pass"?
Yeah, that's right before that. He's like, that happens right at that scene. Yeah. It's a brilliant scene in the movie, but also a homage, I think. Robert Jordan's really sending a tip of the hat, I think, with saying "ride, you fools," or just having "you fools" after a lot of the things that Tom says when he's warning.
Well, remember what was your first take on Tom? Was that he's
he's like Gandalf.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's like Merlin. He's
Merlin,
like Merlin and Gandalf, I think.
What do you think? So thinking back to that prediction, feeling it still? Feeling it?
Totally. Yeah.
Awesome,
just with
yeah.
like he keeps saying, he calls him.
Yeah.
And he's always kind of like one of the guiding points are the wisdom of, there it is.
Yeah, they're interchangeable. See? Todd's brilliant.
Yes, I have my moments.
Yeah, keep taking us through your notes. I love it. Yeah, we should just call this Todd and his notes. We're just listening.
Todd's notes.
Todd's notes. Todd's notes. Todd's notes.
Here, I'll give you look. This is my handwritten notes. Actually.
Holy moly! Everyone, screen grab that. I think he has a social security number in there somewhere.
Yeah, all my info's there.
That is meticulous AF.
Yeah, Bo. Yep. AF. We don't swear on this show ever.
Handwritten notes, guys. Handwritten. We need to archive those. You're saving every one of them, right?
Yeah, totally.
All right, we need to archive that stuff for reals. So don't say anything weird on there. All right, keep it. That might be a Patreon. Come on, keep it clean.
Keep it clean.
It's not your diary, bro. Okay, it's different.
This is for the children. Okay.
For the community.
The community.
For the community.
So this brings us to a very interesting point in the book. After Tom and the boys ride off together.
Boy.
Yeah, so it's like Tom, Matt, and Rand. So they're jamming out into the woods. And that's the last we hear from them. And then the POV changes, which is like the first time in the book, I think. Besides the Dragon Mount prologue.
Besides Dragon Mountain, correct, yeah. And then who are
And
we
he goes
with?
to Perrin.
Then we're with Perrin. Slow thinking Perrin.
Perrin.
Everyone thinks thinks very slowly while I think very slowly. I don't know why people think I think slowly. I just think the way I do. Just kidding. No, this is great. No, he's
a big guy. He's got to think about like how he moves through space, and
he's very concerned with how people see him.
He is. He's very conscious.
He's like vainglorious. He's very aware of how people perceive him, and he has arguments against their public perception of him. He's like, well, everyone thinks I think slowly, but it's just because I'm really freaking huge. And hey, you try and walk around in a crowd this freaking huge. I don't want to knock somebody down on accident. Everyone thinks I'm a lope. Everyone thinks I'm just a dopey lope.
Yeah, he's having these conversations to himself.
Yeah, it's great.
And he chooses to move carefully, he says, which I do. I'm like, okay. Careful thought is the way, he says.
Mm-hmm.
And then Perrin runs into Egwene.
Yeah, so Perrin runs into Egwene.
Yeah. So they run into each other.
In some sort of like kind of open.
Yeah, he's like
area.
looking. Well, Perrin's like sitting there in the shadows looking at the door. He sees the gate, but he's like, oh man, he's like totally freaked out to move, I think. And then he sees Egwene. And they're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And
what are they like? What are they like?
They're like, oh my gosh, where's everybody? We gotta get out of this place.
Yeah.
So they leave the city together. But their trail's picked up by Fades and Trollocs, and they're chased through the trees. And this freaked me out, dude, right here. Where Perrin turns around and he sees Bella kind of stop in his tracks or like slow down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, Bella, no! Like something happens to Bella and like slows down Egwene and Bella. And then I guess as he's looking back, he's kind of like still on the horse, but then he falls off like a sheer bluff into the Arenal River, which is like totally crazy.
Which is like, I mean, I guess they found where they needed to go. It's like, that's one way of finding it. Boo!
Down the river, like the big man he is.
All right, so we have a question. This is actually a good question from Discord. This is Malkier Talks again. If you like these high-level questions, you go check out his show. Malkier says, do you think Perrin keeping the axe was sensible considering it almost drowned him?
That part was so crazy. So he loses his cloak, or he's like, "No, I got to get rid of this cloak. I'm drowning." And then the axe keeps slipping out, but he holds on to it. I think it was good, man. That's his weapon. That's Perrin's weapon.
That's his thing, right? Yeah. So you think so that's good. Yeah.
It's like he's got to hold on to that. He knows it. I think he's like, if I lose this, I think he says something about that.
Well, it's interesting because he seems to have like a very begrudging relation to it. He doesn't really like, although we know that he trained secretly in Emmons Field, which I really love that image of like little Perrin. We don't really know how young he started. Maybe little Perrin was like 7 when he actually found that axe, and he just tells the story. He leaves that detail out that he's been training since he's 7. We don't know. We just assume, but he's just like, well, maybe we know. I'm sure I'm wrong. I'm sure there's some detail. Tell me in chat. But yeah, then
self-taught axe master. Yeah. I could buy it. I buy it, dude.
But yeah, that motion that like, oh my gosh, so he's practically drowning, but he's
Yeah.
choosing to keep the thing that's making it that much harder to stay alive.
Totally.
Yeah, great metaphor there. There's great metaphors all over the place. There's nonstop foreshadowing, and then there's nonstop world building, puzzle making, high-end 3D puzzle. But if you read this just metaphorically, these are just great metaphors. The metaphor of a man, who is drowning, but yet fights to keep his weapon. What? Right?
Yeah. That's the heaviest, most burdensome thing that's threatening his life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love it. I love it. It's such on so many levels it works, and it's exciting. It's so exciting.
Robert Jordan.
Cheers. Yeah. Cheers.
Where's your ruby grapefruit?
I drink.
To Robert Jordan. Whoa.
Robert Jordan. Bob.
Fantastic.
Bob.
Todd, this has got to stop.
What have I been telling you, Todd?
I can't laugh. I know. I can't.
No, I've been telling you that we're going to work on this. You cannot.
It's not the Todd.
It's got to be the Todd.
Yeah, that was good. Just act like it doesn't even happen.
I could do this. I could do this. I know.
You could do this? But yeah, I'm not going to do it now. No.
Todd, please.
Go on. Go on.
Okay. So, so Perrin makes it to the other side of the river.
Yeah. Perrin.
Buffed. Yeah, I know. The cloak, his clothes will be wet and draping is like.
Oh, yeah, and he's going to get out of the water and just be like, oh, let me get this off my body. Let me just show you my perfect upside down triangle. I am the dark side. You could, if you put the Dark Side of the Moon album and just turned it upside down. Go on.
He's like, I still got my axe too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Dude,
it's gonna be great. All right, get us back in the book. I'm sorry, we're out of control. Get us back in the book. Speaking of the book.
Oh wait, one thing. Okay, so it goes back to Rand and Matt and Tom. They're continuing to be chased, and there's a factoid given right here about Trollocs, which is totally freaky.
So
Trollocs, they apparently can keep pace with a horse, but it's only 100 paces.
Yeah,
that's freaky. That's like that gave me like a new light to like what the Trollocs, how they look and like what they are and stuff. And
yeah, and you can imagine like, we're talking the numbers that we're talking about, right? The numbers that we've experienced so far, that charging you at that speed.
Yeah. They're just running on foot alongside.
We're in a world that constantly talks about the Trolloc wars.
Yeah. Freaky. Skeevy. Yeah, pause for thought on that.
What's that?
Yeah, I was paused for thought on that. I was like, oh my gosh. So that kind of blew me away, just that factoid. How Trollocs could keep up with the horse. And they're being chased. So they're like ambushed. But I guess like Matt, he has like his arrows drawn and he gets one in the eye.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And then Tom comes from behind and daggers like two.
Yes.
With his special daggers. I forgot that Tom has like these magic daggers. And he says like, oh, my second best knives.
My second best knives. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's going to be an awesome scene, dude.
Right here, you can see his little knife. This is the funny scene where he's actually trimming his nails with his knives, which is kind of thinking about what that really means. Just trimming it. That's kind of crazy. But those are so sharp, you can just trim your nails. Yeah, so now we know he can do that.
That was very cool.
I don't see. That was 3 for 3. He didn't miss one.
Dude, nailed it. And oh yeah. So they're jamming downriver. And so they find a large trading boat moored to the shore there. And yeah, like Tom's like, "You on the boat, wake up, fools, Trollocs."
Yeah.
It's again the fool thing. So enter this boat. So they all jump in it.
Rand lands on someone.
Yeah, Rand lands on somebody. And then like the Trollocs like come up onto the boat. Rand takes out a Trolloc, I guess. Oh yeah, one Trolloc breaks a catch pole across Rand's back, I guess.
Oh God. Okay, so that scene, so he feels something hit him, and then he's on the ground and he's trying to move, and his body is doing the opposite of what he wants, and he's flailing around. So crazy.
Yeah. And the Trolloc lunges for him, but the ship's boom comes around and swings and nails the Trolloc in the chest. And Rand's like, that has to have used up all my luck, he said.
All right.
That's a crazy.
What do you think happened?
I don't know. Is that like a ward or like that Moraine said? I don't know what it is. Something's like on his side, apparently. I mean, it's like the Force or something, like in Star Wars or something. He's got like Obi-Wan Kenobi, like looking out for him.
So do you think like when he says luck, that is like a real thing that you could have, and some people have more and some people have less? Do you think it's a thing in this world, or is it just a way of describing what he just saw happen?
I didn't think about that.
Well, what were you thinking? No, I'm sorry. Well, don't think about what I'm thinking. Just tell me what you're thinking.
Oh yeah, I thought it was like some force or something that was helping him. That's watching over him.
So that's a thing. Okay, yeah.
So I think it's a thing.
Okay.
Moraine somehow like has, I don't know, something, because she could like set wards or like power things, power situations. I don't know.
So this is a great question from Mandar, and I think he's actually just wanting us to sing the premise song. Was it luck?
Is it luck?
Was it luck? No, yeah, no. But I actually no. Just answer that question. Was it luck?
Well, I think it's like a power, but I didn't think about it like luck being like some force in this in the world that we're in this book. That's really interesting.
Do you think he labeled it correctly? Was that like the correct label? He says, "Oh, that might like right." Is he labeling it correctly?
I guess he's labeling it the way that he can only understand it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the way the world is in this book. Like they just label things the best way they could understand it. I don't know. The wheel weaves with the wheel weaves.
The wheel weaves with the wheel wills.
Oh, is that what it is? Damn it.
Yeah. Have you been thinking it the whole time? Oh no.
Oh my God.
The wheel weaves with the wheel wills. It's not the most catchy. You know, if I was on a marketing team, I would have probably tried to spruce that up, make it a little bit easier to say, make it roll off the tongue better. But the wheel weaves is the wheel wills. You get used to it. It's a thing.
I'll work on it. Wheel weaves with the wheel wills. So they're on the ship.
Yes.
Trader ship.
Yep. And we meet Bail Domon.
This guy.
This guy.
I like this guy already. Even though he may be a scoundrel. I don't know. He's like a total pirate, you know, the way he talks.
Yes.
And I wrote down the quote. Should I read it?
Please read every quote you write down. Don't skip a quote.
This will be
What are we here for, Todd? We're here for you to read quotes in your mellifluous voice.
Okay. Now, said the captain. They were all seated. My name be Bale Dolman, captain and owner of the Spray, which be this ship. Now who be you and where be you going out there in the middle of nowhere? And why should I throw you over the side for the trouble you've brought me?
Well, I shy know. Yeah. And Rand's like, wait. Okay, I'm picking every last word, but wait, did he just over the side? What? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, Rand can't keep up with his rapid talk, his rapid pirate talk, I guess. And yeah. Oh, and this Matt almost spills the beans again.
Yep.
Tom stops Matt from telling the captain their story. Like Matt's about to go into it.
Yep, loose lips. He's a handsome chap, but boy, shut up, Matt.
Matt.
Why I oughta. At some point, do you think they would all just like give him like the whole like, you know, Full Metal Jacket treatment where like he's doing so many bad things, they just like start give him right? Like at some point, do they just give him like they all just like beat on him a little bit?
Wait, the soap
put some soap in the towel and just like hold him down a little bit and be like, come on, bro, you're literally putting us all in danger. You're doing everything wrong. You're spilling the beans. Yeah, well, look, we're in a sauna. We're naked. You're spilling the beans there. We just get on a freaking boat run by Trollocs. You're spilling the beans. I think they tie him up. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm expressing myself. That's how I feel about Matt at this point in the book. That's how I feel about Matt.
No, I'm right there with you, man. I think he does need some intervention.
Like, what were his parents like? Seriously, this is before the internet. This is before PlayStation. This guy can't focus on anything. Like, does he have ADD? I would say ADD, but I think ADD is kind of a modern thing. Like, what is going on?
I don't know. They don't have any drugs to like. What is it called?
And the animal stuff.
Matt.
Oh, you just want to pinch his cheeks now. All right.
He's got that swashbuckler look.
All right, so we're on a boat.
Yeah, we're on a boat.
Parent, Matt, Rand, Dom. They basically fared way better than
Tom. Yeah. Tom lays out a story about how they were these two are his apprentices. Assistants, and they were going to Shadar Logoth to get the treasure.
Yep.
There's a treasure in there.
And all the brave deeds were basically done by him, and he was the one to orchestrate all the great moves.
So
great.
Tom's a star, like a Gleeman. Like a Gleeman lays out. Yeah. He's the star of the show for sure, man.
Oh, look at you got a Todd Doman for your read aloud.
Thank you. I tried my hardest to have like a pirate kind of voice.
Mandar's telling us Doman is one of his favorite minor characters. Yeah. Fail Doman. I do be agreeing with you.
Arr.
Do you think he says R?
I don't know. I want to like put an R after like all of his.
Do you think in the books, I mean, in the Amazon show, they just kind of play up the whole pirate thing and just basically give an eye patch and make him say R?
Possibly. I hope they don't. But he might have like a little pirate tinge to his accent. I don't know.
The audiobooks he trills his R's. At the end, he trills his R's.
Oh, really?
It's very weird. It sounds, yeah, it's like sounds very Scottish, but then all of a sudden, like he's trilling his R's at the end. It's a very unique voice he does. It's really cool.
I was gonna say, yeah, like Scottish or like Irish, kind of like how he talks. That's what I can envision.
Yeah, but he definitely runs that ship with the tight,
Yep.
rein for sure. He's the master of everything there.
Yep, nothing gets by him, and everything, yeah, it has to go his way.
And then he doesn't give like the good bed or something. Right, something about that. Like he takes the best bed or something.
Yeah, the best, everything. So Doman demands a price for the travel to the White Bridge.
Yep. And then they give over the coins.
But no, at first he asked for Rand's sword.
Yeah, that was yep.
And Rand was like, hell no, dude.
It's mine. That do be my sword. No.
That was a good part. He's like, no way, dude. And then he remembers the silver coins. And I guess Matt and Rand give their silver coins to Mr. Doman.
Fail. Yep. The ones that were given to him by Moraine way back when.
And this gets into a really interesting part with Mr. Bail Doman. He tells about how his he calls it wintering in Saldia, I guess.
Yep. Yeah,
He's
I've heard
like,
of tanning in Tanchico, and then there's wintering in Saldia. Yeah.
Wintering.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, they no, it's like that was wintering. Like he has like a chateau in Saldia.
Yeah.
I'm wintering in the Saldia. What the heck? Okay, yeah.
That's a thing. Apparently, it's a thing.
Sounds opulent, bro.
It sounds fantastic. Like, oh, man. But so he goes into some cool stuff. I mean, he lays it down for him about like Trollocs attacking farms, and that this winter past, though there may be farms burning every night, aye, and whole villages to be times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he's like saying he's seeing some kind of weird stuff afoot.
Yeah, and then he says if people be saying that this is the end, right?
Yeah, the end times.
End time. So we start hearing that stuff again. And then Tom's like, oh, Trollocs. Right? Yeah, so yeah, Tom's the one who got him to tell this story. You get a little backstory on Bale.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm basically haunted by these damn things. It's kind of funny. But then we learned that they're miles downriver. And Rand was confused a little bit. I guess he doesn't really understand how currents work and water works. He was the Two Rivers climatologist, but once he gets out of the Two Rivers, man, he doesn't understand jack. He's like, what? We're like miles downriver? What is going on? So, yeah, so they're separated. And they're going towards White Bridge, right?
Yeah, White Bridge, yep.
Going towards White Bridge. So those three are together, and we learned some things about Tom. Tom can now do what he did, and I would really love your thoughts on that. We kind of skipped over that. Tom just did some crazy shit. He was like, and then and he's saving the day. He's like, run, fools. He's on the horseback. Like, it's just going to, that multicolored cloak is going to be flying. Like, and then all of a sudden he's taking three out, just shoom, 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 three down. Yeah. And one was running away, and he mercilessly just took it out. Just like, F you, man. You're running away. I don't even want you. He doesn't let him live.
He's like, I don't even want the blades back. Didn't he just leave the blades in him?
So he's like, my best blades. He's like, how many fingernails have I cut with those blades?
How many times?
Me and those blades go way back. I remember when I was wintering in Saldia. Mean blade.
Me and my blade.
We were in love. I looked at Blade and I said, You don't tell the other blades. You are my favorite of the blades.
You're my special blade.
And the blade said nothing. But I looked in the blade's eyes and I knew the truth. And we and that blade forever since wintering in Saudi have been forever linked. Oh, my voice is
I'll never forget that winter in Saldia.
Oh man. And then so the backstories, Tom and his knife. So
Knives, yeah.
I do what we do, we can look forward to him falling in love with the new knives. I'm assuming he's gonna have to replace them. He's gonna have to come up with a favorite. I think he doesn't just have a favorite. I think he has to have a favorite. Like he's got to go have moments like in Saldia with the last ones.
I think
but we might see that in the books. We might see him.
I would love to see that.
Right? Just like he's in the shop. He's like looking. He's looking.
There's a blade.
And then next thing you know, he's like in the cafe looking at the blades, like and the blades at the other side of the table. And it's got its own plate. All right, tell me to stop.
All right. So I think that was chapter 20.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speed along. All right.
Dude, chapter 21, man.
What's that? Oh yeah, chapter 21. This is everything changes.
Listen to the wind. That's what the chapter's
Listen to
called.
the wind. 2 wind references back to back.
Oh yeah. And it changes POV again. Point of view goes to Nenaive right in the beginning.
Yes. So great. What do you think of this? Okay, well, I mean, so many things to talk about. How do you think he pulls it off?
Robert Jordan's a master.
Yes. Right. Okay. So you think it's well done, right?
Yeah, because I was like, after the chapter ended, I'm like, wait, where's Nenaive? And then Robert Jordan answered. Bam.
Yep. And classic, first lines is she's just basically ripping herself to shreds, just being brutal to herself. How dare you fall asleep? You're gonna wake up at a trollop cookpot. You just can't keep yourself awake. Like, oh my goodness. Like, can you imagine if she spoiled if I was making eggs and I cracked 2 eggs.
Oh, forget it.
No, 2 eggs in a row I ruined. Like, just boom, F that one up, boom. The next one, what? 2 in a row? Like, can you imagine? Like, but I was like, all right, I'm cool. I'll just I got eggs. I think Nenaive would have her something like that would have been.
It would have been over, dude.
A lot of burn you. Okay, go on.
She would rip you.
Go with the cooking metaphor. Burn you.
Burn me. Dude, yeah.
Yeah, Nenaive. So she is. Yeah, go. Carry us through. Keep an eye on time too. It's all up to you, buddy.
I know. We got 11 minutes. Oh my gosh.
Then just hit us with some highlights.
So
everyone here has read this chapter. We all know Nenaive's the best.
She realizes.
I love Nenaive. Nenaive. I think everyone at home is now saying Nenaive.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I'm not saying no. It's your headcanon. Go for it.
Okay.
It's your head party.
So Nenaive, she realizes something. She takes note that the Trollocs, this is back in Shadar Logoth, I guess, inside the gate. She realizes that she was while she was being set upon by Trollocs, they turn their noses up and then they smell something and then they run the opposite way. And she's like, oh man, they know the smell of who they want. And the Aes Sedai was right.
Yep.
So she's pinched. She's like, Maureen got me. She's right on that one. That was a telling moment, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's creepy AF. You know that's happening. That they're just literally smelling them out.
Yeah.
But also that she's able to just kind of suss that out. You know, they're coming towards her, and
Yeah.
you know, and she doesn't, you know, reflexively just start fireballing them or whatever. She's like, hey, what are they doing? She's kind of got a little bit of that. Look at that, and a humility to be able to like change her mind. Like that's really important. People, especially when they're angry, they're less capable of changing their mind. I know I am. And that's basically like scientifically proven that when we're angry, we are dumb.
We enter like a beast mode.
That and also scared, and more when we're scared and petrified too. But we're seeing like at least Rand and the naive, basically doing just that, just basically like able to stop for a second when I think I would have soiled and fallen off the horse. And I would have been Walking Dead style. He wouldn't have to use a weapon, just come and chomp on me. I'd be so scared. But yeah, she susses that out. She sees that they're sniffing, and she's able to change her mind and be like, all right, I get it. They're not hunting me. They're hunting the boys.
The boys.
Big ups in the naive and the red dot. I don't know why this has it, but yeah,
naive. Able to change her mind. Good on her.
See, look at these insights we're giving you. Guys, if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. We have 8 minutes left, and then we're going to head out. Thank you for listening, and we're going to listen to Todd wrap up his thoughts for chapter 21. Sorry this last chapter has been rushed, but we're going to get better at this.
Okay, so she realizes this is the furthest from Edmonds Field she's been.
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting. But she vows to find them, the Edmonds boys and Egwene, the boys and Egwene. She vows to find them, and she wants Moiraine to answer for all this. So she's stalking the riverside, tracking. She finds, like footprints and hoof prints and Trolloc prints. And then she has a funny moment. Dresses were not made for stalking. The dress is getting all caught up and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then
little commentary.
Yep, little commentary on the wear there.
Or on just gender issues also. Kind of like.
Yeah, Nynaeve's not having that shit at all. I thought she would like rip off the dress or like at the bottom too.
And then the book changes suddenly. No, I get it. Like somehow just very quickly like do something to make that. Yeah, I can see that. Maybe we're seeing up to her calves. Maybe we'll see some well-turned calves.
Especially HBO. If HBO was making the show, they would have just rip off the dress and like freaking HBO, man. Okay. Anyways, so Nynaeve comes upon Lan and Moiraine. She hides. She's eavesdropping, which is really cool. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Just her. She's like, okay, they don't see me. They don't sense me. I'm gonna like hear this thing out, man. I want to hear what they're talking about. And Lan goes into confessing that he's concerned about the number of Trollocs that's hunting them. Almost 1,000. And he's really concerned about how fast they travel from the Blight. I guess that's where their headquarters is. And, and they're like, this is really interesting right here. He talks about, or Moiraine says, the question worries me also, but I have no answers. The ways are closed and there has not been an Aes Sedai powerful enough to travel since the time of madness. This freaking
like, what is that? What is that? Travel? Like, okay, like, do we usually talk about call up an agent, like book a flight, like what the F?
ways. Yeah, like what the hell? The way I was just like,
Oh.
the ways.
In the ways, yeah.
So now I'm thinking like they're bending space and time. They're able to like travel great distances real at once. I'm thinking about all these things. I'm thinking about Dune. I don't know, the sci-fi novel. If you're into that, they do that in that book. Star Wars, you know, the Millennium Falcon jumps to light speed. I don't know. So I'm thinking about all these crazy things.
That is very interesting. Yeah.
So
And it just they drop it and it just hangs there.
yeah.
Right? Just hangs there. What is, you can almost miss it.
Yeah. I know. It's just like they're just conversational. It's like, yeah.
What is it? What is the traveling? Is it with the lowercase t or capital T?
I think it's a capital T.
Yeah. See, that's
So Robert Jordan's like, take note.
Yeah, if you're an audiobook listener, you just mean like, oh, you would just hear traveling. It might not even be significant, but the capital T is like traveling. It's like, yeah, it's like,
So now they're able to move thousands of Trollocs way too fast. And so they're both concerned about that.
Yep.
And then Moraine senses Nynaeve hiding. And she says, if you watch the wolf too hard, a mouse will bite you on the ankle. Which she's talking to Nynaeve.
I didn't pick that up. That's really cool. All right, let's answer this one question.
Okay.
All right.
Totally.
All right, yeah, so we'll wrap up real fast. We got a question in the chat. It says, what is the significance of the chapter title? Listening to the wind.
Oh, yeah, I was going to go into that. So I guess that's what Aes Sedai do. They listen to the wind.
Mm-hmm.
So they go into, so they catch Nynaeve spying, and then there's this huge, it's like a mental battle between Nynaeve and Moraine, and Lan's just like,
yeah, I'm gonna go check the pots here. I might make some. Hey, is this saddle fixed?
so just mind me. Yeah. They go into like this fierce back and forth about how Moraine's like, well, Moraine picks up, I guess, when she met Nynaeve, that she does have the ability to wield the one power.
Yes.
And that goes to the question that the viewer asked. And that's what the chapter's all about. It's all about Nynaeve. Like, basically, like, lays into her, is like, I know all about you. I know about like the powers you felt and all the things you felt. And like all this stuff. And then it gets into Mistress Baron, I guess, was Nynaeve's teacher to be a wisdom, and it gets into how she felt the power at a young age. And then something big is revealed about when Aes Sedai heal people, they're have an affinity for them, and they're forever attached to them, I guess.
Yes. So, what do you think of that?
Cool. I think it's freaking awesome. That is what she's like. That's what led you to the Stag and the Lion in Baelaron.
Yep.
And then Naive's like, no, I don't have the power. She's like fighting it first.
Yeah, but Maureen was so detailed in what the experience was like that Nynaeve could not argue with it.
Yeah, she totally nailed it. Every single point, like how she just has this power and she wields the power unknowingly.
Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite scenes is when she's talking about the person suffering from the condition that is very painful, and you get to really, really hear the heart and the passion behind the angry, gruff, exterior. Like that moment, I think, is really, really powerful.
Right. Yeah. And how if the power goes unchecked, that you only have like 5 years or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
live, or else you'll like die of this, like what you're talking about, like a really painful death. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
No, she was talking about there's someone with a bone breaking condition.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Nynaeve.
And the way she's talking about it, and the way she's explaining, like, because she's, I guess, talking about one of the times she healed someone miraculously.
And it was Egwin, right? And that's how she has the connection with Egwin.
Was it Egwin? Did I read that correctly?
Because Nynaeve, like, she used to watch.
She healed Egwin of a horrifying condition?
And that's what led her. That's what.
Wow.
That's what establishes the affinity that she has for Egwin, and that she's able to find Egwin in Bailuron at the White Stag, or the the Stag and the Lion.
Wow.
I think that's what I read.
That's funny. I was listening to that and I wasn't even catching the main details. I was just catching like the heart and the feelings behind it.
Yeah, no, it's a heavy moment in the book where like Nynaeve, like she's
there it is. Yeah, she had breakbone fever. She kept her head down and spoke to the ground. I was still apprenticed to Mistress Buran, and she sat next to me and watched Egwin. I was young and I didn't know the wisdom had everything well in hand. It's terrible to watch. Breakbone fever. The child was the child was soaked with sweat, groaning and twisting until I could only understand why I didn't hear her bones snapping. Now, that's crazy to really think about Egwin now, having suffered through that alone, just who she is. Like we see this lady who, I mean, she's young. She's still, I think, 16. And she's just brazenly doing this and that. And she kind of thinks differently than all the other Evansfielders. She doesn't have this kind of cultural bias. She wants to see the world. And then, and to know that she went through that, and, just kind of makes me think that it must be part of the character, must be necessary for her to have gone through that, for her to be where she is now.
They made her so much stronger.
Oh my goodness. And the thing that and then Nynaeve's like forever, connected to her like that. That's really cool.
And then also Marine reveals that the silver coins that she gave the boys created the bonds between them, so she could sense them, whether they're alive or not, which is kind of cool.
Yep. And then she knows that she lost that connection for a bit.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and that must be when they gave the coins over to our friend, Mr. Pirate. Here we got a question from Mandar. What does Todd think of getting sick if untrained by Aes Sedai for most people when first using the power?
Yeah, it's very dangerous.
It's very what?
It's very dangerous. If the power and somebody goes unchecked and trained, Moraine saying like she's heard like the longest person that lived was like 5 years or something like that. She's like, oh yeah, I got stories for you. You're lucky if you're like 2 to 3 years. I heard one of them did 5 years. Like, it's so heavy. Yeah, this power. It's like if it's unchecked and untrained, it could kill you.
Yeah.
And then have like no chance against it.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So, and then they have this school basically to, do that, and they're trying to get there. So, and at the very end, what do you think about how they got? Well, I don't want to be too misleading. Nynaeve decides to go with them. Correct.
Right. Yeah. She decides to go with them. Rand's kind of grudgingly. He's like, was this part of the wheel too? Is this part of the pattern too, Moraine?
Do you think Moraine did something to make that more likely that she goes with them, or less likely that she goes with them?
I think Moraine definitely convinced her, made her think of some things. But Nynaeve still holds some mistrust against her.
I mean, well, she kind of does that thing. She's like, well, I guess you're not coming with us, see you later. It's like, she almost, and
that's right. She did it. What she did with Rand, actually.
It's like if you're working with someone who's oppositional, if they're like hitting themselves, if they're truly oppositional, you say, all right, keep hitting yourself. And they'll be like, well, I'm not going to hit myself. Go on.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
Right. Anyways, this has been great. We got to wrap up, huh, Todd?
Yeah, I got to go, man.
All right. Yeah, I'm seeing that. All right. This has been episode 11. What episode is this?
I don't know.
I want to be able to say it correctly. Yeah. Anyways,
wonderful.
I should put that in a more visible place. Anyway, so yeah, this is, I think, episode 11. And goodness, how fun has this been? Thank you guys for joining with us. Thank you guys for sticking this one out. Todd, we will be back next Thursday at our usual time. All right, we're getting our books up.
Thank you for all the questions, viewers. They were awesome. I can't wait to the next chapter.
Oh, and don't forget to check out Todd's band. It looks like a black hole. That is all one word and is all lowercase. And you can find them on Spotify. Good night, everybody. Todd, get to reading.
Here I go. Chapter 22, A Path Chosen.
All right. So yeah, next Thursday, we will be talking about the next 3 chapters, 22, 23, and 24. All right. Good night, everybody.